Hello, and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 3. And in this episode, we will be continuing as Germany. And you'll notice that time has progressed. We are in April 1940. And I'm going to give you a quick update on sort of the time I missed in between the Battle of Poland and what is soon to be Operation Wieselbang. Now, I have the decision ready to go. And you'll just see quickly that what happens when I trigger it. So, one of the major events that happened was there was quite a large naval warfare skirmish. So, we lost one of our heavy cruisers. We lost the... I can't remember which one we lost. That's terrible. But we lost 2 heavy cruisers, because we had 3 in this fleet and another 3 here. We lost both of them. So we lost 2 heavy cruisers, I say, and we lost some destroyers. This fleet lost several destroyers, but it's not completely wiped out. And this fleet here under the Tirpitz and the Bismarck also got involved in the battle and lost some destroyers as well. So if we look at sunk ships, the Bismarck has managed to destroy a couple of destroyers. The Tirpitz as well, taking out a couple of light cruisers. And I'm not sure if anyone else got anything. Oh, look, this destroyer. Yes, so we did shrink. We did sink some battleships. So we did manage to sink the Duke of York. Obviously, torpedo attack. I think that's it for this fleet. Oh, no. Ah, yes, and the HMS Anson, which is also a newer British battleship, which we managed to sink. So we did sustain losses, but realistically, I think they sustained more. Now, the Scharnhorst. God, the Scharnhorst went on a French destruction. So we managed to destroy a heavy cruiser, a battleship, and a destroyer, and a light cruiser, which was very impressive. The Gneisenau also managing to take out a light aircraft carrier and another destroyer. The French really sent a lot of their fleets. Most of these combats took place in this area here. Because really what I was doing some advanced scouting for when it comes to attacking Norway and Denmark. So some pre-naval maneuvers that I needed to do just to see, you know, how effective we were being. A couple of British ships here, including another heavy cruiser, another destroyer, and another light cruiser. Now, we also had this fleet involved, and as you can see, we did lose one of our coastal battleships and several of our weaker vessels. And I don't think any of these ships got a kill. No. Because they were pretty much just providing fire support. So yeah, it was quite a straightforward battle on that front. And on this fleet, the Graf Spee managed to destroy a destroyer. The Admiral Scheer managed to destroy a heavy cruiser. The Prinz on Gain managed to get a heavy cruiser and a light cruiser. And the Blucher managed to get some kills as well. So, oh, even Emden. Emden managed to get a battle cruiser, managed to get the Dunkirk. Another light cruiser. So we did a lot of damage to the French and British fleets in these engagements. I think they came out worse than us. I don't think the French now realistically have a proper, yet another battle cruiser, have another fleet that can really contend with us. The British came away fairly good, but we did manage to sink 2 battleships. And considering that Italy has quite the force of ships, so we've got 3 battleships there, 2 coastal battleships, another 2 battleships there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so they got 9 battleships. You know, that will not be an easy thing for the British to deal with. So by sinking those 2, we've actually done a fairly good job. And that is before we've even been able to activate our proper carrier fleet, because we've got a Potsdam class carrier ready to go there. Our planes are nearly ready, and we're going to have some more carriers in July. Now, that was that on that side of things. The campaign in the east went very well. As you saw, it was quite a quick turnaround. I've repositioned all of our troops now on this front. So we have Heers Group C, Heers Group B, and Heers Group A. Heers Group C under von Lieb is our holding force. That's purely got garrison divisions that are just there to sort of hold the line in the event of any pushing from the Allies. Heers Group B under von Reichenau has the major job really of taking out the Dutch. And I'm not sure if the Dutch how it works. Like, if I was to go for a puppet on them, they're at war with Indonesia. I'm not sure how that sort of works. Do they, you know, because they have victory provinces over here, don't they? Yeah, so we'll just go conquer on them, I reckon, when the time comes. So that's what Heers Group A is going to, or sorry, Heers Group B is going to be doing. And Heers Group A, under von Bock, that has the most concentration of our troops, will be pushing forwards through the Ardennes region, and hopefully closing off Vichy France and going towards the coast. I do apologise in advance because I've got a bit of a sore throat today and my nose is playing up a little bit. I was up quite late last night watching the E3 presentation, and I had quite a heavy weekend. Out and about. So, and I'm sending off the SS divisions to go and fight on our behalf as well. Now, in the rest of this update video, I thought I'd quickly highlight that all of our production is going very well. Even our oil is positive, which is good at the moment, but part of that is down to the German-Soviet agreement in 1940. So we're going to need to be slightly careful about that. But so far so good on that front, and Sino-German cooperation giving that 20% rare materials is really good. So while we haven't brought Japan into the Axis, yeah, because, you know, they're being dragged in. They will be dragged in kicking or screaming eventually. I'm not that bothered about the Japanese, to be honest. You know, they're fighting well, but, you know, I can take it or leave it. They will, you know, they're pre-scripted to attack the US, so, you know, maybe if that's by themselves, that's not a bad thing. Although we do get some buffs for having everyone in. And we're just awaiting now the chance to get Romania in, because they are so close to getting into our faction now. And Yugoslavia is right on there as well. And we're definitely running up the threat of the Soviet Union. So, for Operation Wieselbang, I have 3 plans. Let's start with Operation Denmark. Now, it might look a bit messy, but I thought I'd just demonstrate. Now, for this operation, we have the 1st Army Corps and the 18th Army Corps. And each one of these has 4 mainline divisions with a supporting group, 4 mainline divisions with a supporting group. So we will be taking 3 divisions at this point here and moving them in this direction. This whole corps is going to immediately make a straight run for Aarhus, or Aarhus. And we're going to conduct a paradrop landing into these 2 provinces here. Because that should knock them out, because with a 50% decrease to their national unity, that should be a straight kill. So to support this, I'm going to send our submarine fleets out to form a screen, and I'm also going to send our air force out, which is here, which also played a key part in the scouting operations. And I'm going to send our battleships from this port here to scout in these areas here. So I think it will be quite a straightforward campaign. Then following on from this, we have Op Nord Sweden, where we'll be doing something similar. This is a much more basic framework, but I'll be repositioning our navies into these positions here. And then I will be running a air campaign from here as well. And power dropping into this port here, and then moving up the 1st Army Corps and the 18th Corps into this province here to push on Stockholm and Stigma. And we will be puppeting all 3 of the Nordic countries. Because when you look at their resources, you know, other than Sweden, which has a great amount of resources, there's not a lot coming from Norway that we necessarily need immediately. And the same can be said of Denmark. And we're not getting a major amount of IC for it either. So my thinking is that it's better to have them as puppets, because they can garrison their own lands, and we can take puppet units to help with our, you know, later invasions. So I am a fan of the puppeting strategy. Then following on from this, also if we puppet them, I'm hoping that Denmark keeps Iceland and Greenland, which can form staging off points for the later invasion of the United States. I'm ambitious. Then finally, we have Operation Nord Norwegian, which once we've taken Sweden, we'll have the Danish and the Swedes to support our troops. Because I'm going to try and do this with as the least amount of casualties as possible. And my hope is that we can sort of quite easily take Bergen, and let me switch it back to VP mode. So Bergen and Oslo, because we will use our 15th and 1st Army Corps to push immediately from Bergen, or from the line here outside of Oslo, push straight into Oslo, and then do a power drop again from our Danish air bases here to take these 2 provinces to then push up here, and then use our navy once again with subs as a screening force, and then our carriers and our battleships to support our air landing here. Because unfortunately we don't have any landing craft as Germany, and this is something that I want them to look at in the game, is why can't Germany train landing craft? Because it makes the whole operation up in the north a right pain in the arse. But that's where we're up to. This was a quick sort of video just to show you the disposition of forces. Tech-wise, we're doing very well. We're up to 1940 techs and 1942 techs. This is about where we are on the tech tree. And on production, we've got several Panzer divisions that we're just awaiting. As I say, some carriers, a couple of battleships that will be around next year, which is good. You know, we want to keep hold of all our battleships, and there is a massive upgrade drive because all of the ersatz divisions have been activated. So I am upgrading them all and then getting ready to create a new army group ready for the invasion of the Soviet Union. And this will involve tanks and, you know, a little bit of everything. I also need to start dealing with our Fortress Buster units, and that's also on my to-do list. But thank you very much for watching. This was a quick update video, as I say, just to say the position of the nations. We've got a lot of fascist influence all over the world. The Soviet Union has more IC than us, which is starting to worry me. We're going to need to be remarkably careful about that war, because they are pumping out planes, infrastructure, motorized like no one's business. Although they can waste as much time as they want on Flugzeugschmied. The Turks are starting to make their way towards us as well politically. They're up to 40%. You know, really the fascist parties are the main parties, as demonstrated by the the very fascist government. I'm just waiting on Ataturk to kick the bucket now. And we have the party of the Deutschland in charge in Yugoslavia. So fascism is on the rise everywhere. Let's just see what we can do. So, once again, thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. And in that episode, we will be conducting the invasion of the Northern Sphere, so to speak. And at the same time, the invasion of France will probably begin as well. So it'll probably be a bumper episode. So thank you very much for watching, and look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Thanks again. Bye-bye.